How you doing, folks? This is Tamil Aker with Nation's Best Inspections. Today, I just wanted to share some information with you guys. One of the top questions I get is customers like to know what's included with the home inspection, but then also why certain things are not. So let me also preface this by saying, depending on the state you live in, what's required to be inspected may be different. But here in the state of Texas, we are held to what's called the standards of practice. So one of the questions I got here recently said, hey, Tamil, how come you don't invade the sewer lines or put a camera down there? How come you don't do a termite inspection? Or how come you don't do a mold inspection? So what I typically tell folks and try to first educate them on is the state of Texas minimum requirements. And just for the record, those items I just mentioned, mold, termite, thermal imaging, sewer cameras, etc., those are what we call ancillary services, meaning those are offered at a separate cost. Although I have the licenses to do them, they are not automatically included with a home inspection. So what does that mean? We are not required to document it or things related to any of those categories of fields because the state doesn't require it. Some people don't like to hear that because they say, oh, you're cutting me short on the inspection. I said, well, actually, you can pay for those things and have them. So one of the things I kind of will relate it to is, and I gave this example to a customer. I said, hey, a mechanic is going to have multiple tools to get a job done versus the tools you may have, right? You might just have a wrench, but the mechanic is going to have a torque wrench. And that torque wrench typically requires maybe not a lot, but just some expertise in knowing how to use that particular tool. Now, they may not charge you more to use it, but I'm just using that as an example. We have tools that all home inspectors aren't equally yoked. Some of us have more experience, have more licenses, certifications than others. But what I just like to tell folks is, hey, choose wisely. The things that you may want may not be included in the price, but you also have the right to ask for and then pay for. All right. So one of the instances I ran into here recently is, I had to explain to a customer also, hey, we're only here to inspect the condition of the property in the right now. We cannot predict future performance or future occurrences in a property. So specifically, this particular customer bought a property or a condo in a multi-unit dwelling. Excuse me, it's multiple units in this building. And then sometime 40, 50 days after the fact, they developed a problem with mold. And I was like, oh, mistake, how come you didn't test for it? And my first response was because you didn't pay for it. Right? So if you didn't pay for that service for me to do indoor air quality samples and whatnot, then that's why it didn't happen. And he tried to come up with all of these reasons why he felt I should have done it. And I just stuck to my guns and I said, you didn't pay for it. So that's why I'm not obligated to break out all of those specialized tools, very expensive equipment to do indoor air quality sampling, surface level sampling, and then, you have to send it off to a lab to get it evaluated, which costs money to ship it to the lab, et cetera. So no, sir, we didn't incur all of those costs for something that you didn't request or pay for, right? So I just wanted to share that as we really start to dive into the heart of the buying season. Make sure you guys are doing your research. If it's not me, whatever home inspector you decide to choose, make sure you just go verify that they can get the things you want done as a part of your home inspection done, right? So that's why we call ourselves the best, because we can do it all. We're going to get your home inspection done, thermal imaging, sewer camera, septic, termite inspection, mold inspections, you name it. We have the licensing to get it all done. So we can be that one-stop shop for you. But those other items are not going to be included unless you pay for them. So I'll leave you guys with this. If you live in the state of Texas, if you want to view those requirements for a home inspection, you can easily go to www.trec, that's TREC.gov or .gov. So www.trec.gov, and if you just, in the search bar section, I think if you just type in standards of practice for home inspections, it'll pull up every item that's required by the state of Texas for home inspectors to complete. Likewise, you can look up a home inspector's licensing to make sure that they are active, because in the state of Texas, you cannot perform a home inspection unless you are active, which means you've provided the state with the proper insurance information. And if you're a new inspector, then if you're new, you haven't done any of the continuing education. But for any home inspector that's been doing this greater than 2 years, all of the education that each inspector has taken is there for you in a list. I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can pull it up really quick. Sorry I didn't have that prepared because I did this kind of impromptu, but I'll see if the internet is playing nice. Here, I'll show it to you so that way you can have a quick sneak peek at what that document looks like from the state. And we also include that information in all of our reports. So I'm going to turn the camera kind of like this, because this is what the sheet will look like. And here it breaks it down page by page or section by section with limitations, what's required for foundations, what's required for electrical, roofing, and electrical, HVAC, etc. So all of that information that the state of Texas requires is right there at the tip of your fingers. Just go to www.trec.gov. Well, hope you found this information beneficial. I'll upload it to my Facebook page as well, so you can just click on the hyperlink to view it. But if you have any other questions, do not hesitate to give us a shout at 972-590-8719, or you can always hit us up on the web to book inspections, etc. At www.nationsbestinspections.com. All right, happy house hunting. You guys have a great day and be safe. Peace.